I never made a promise to not pull this sword from that stone or alcove. I'm not really the traitor. So, like, only a worthy person can use this sword or something? Which I am a worthy person. Welcome, travelers of the internet, to Brighthelm Record, and this is your host, Master Barkle. We're playing the Pillars of Eternity, and if you remember last episode, we were looking for that piece of the helm that we knew was in Stalwart Village, thanks to a little text bubble appearing over our head, telling us so. Apparently, it's on this merchant, and we just bought it for 300 pawns. Maybe a little deceptive here. Probably one of the very few times I've been deceptive. But here we are. We got the piece, anyways. So the world fades and your vision blurs. When it returns, you find yourself in the icy waters of a bay. Your body numb from the cold and your lungs burning from exertion. Nearby are Ardell and Badrun. Both of them are swimming madly in an effort to pass you. So we're in like a competition. On the distant shore await the other members of your tribe, and with them, Olara, daughter of the chieftain. It is for her hand that the three of you are competing today. Yeah, competition. Okay. Give up, Garrod! Hardhell passes you, and despite your best efforts, you can't quite catch up. You look around to see where Badalwin is, and it's by sheer chance that you catch sight of the sea serpent's head surging towards your group. As before, the world stops, the memories trail, lost without your guidance. Attack the serpent! Little warrior! Ah! Your fatigue falls away as you turn to face the serpent. It charges you, its jaws wide, its foot-long teeth flashing in the sunlight. At the last moment, you dodge to the side as its jaws snap shut. Your hair too slow, and one of the serpent's horns tears open your forearm to the bone. You grit your teeth against the sudden pain and wrap your arms around the serpent's neck before it could turn around. It thrashes and rolls wildly, trying to throw you off. You hang on for dear life, weaker with every breath as your blood drains. You do the only thing you can think of and jam your fist straight through the serpent's eye, burying your arm as far as it can go. The serpent whips around in agony, and your grip slips. You tumble through the air as your consciousness fades. The race. How could I have forgotten the events of that day? Gerard looks at his hand. I remember it now, but I feel no different yet. Please, you must find the last part of my helm. Well, we got that piece. So let's go up to Longwatch Falls and deal with that whole Lagufoth problem.
Does anyone have any extra rations? I did some white leaf, and now I'm very hungry.
Goodness gracious. Bitter spirit. Ooh. Greenstone staff. Another egg ruby. That's them. This tower looks like it was carved from the stone of the cliff. The entrance is collapsed and sealed with ice, but you imagine that it commands an impressive view of the valley below.
Not a problem.
The cliffside plunges for 1,000 feet to the valley below. Stalwart is barely a speck amongst the trees in the distance. Lesser frost ooze. Okay. Got some fortifications here, too. What do we got here? A few odds and ends lie scattered by the path. There appears to have been a struggle here, but the evidence is half buried under a thin blanket of snow. Wisps of essence hover in the chilly air. Reach out. The soul fragment plunges you into a memory. Your name is Igadir. You've never been more than 20 miles from home, let alone to the White March, and yet you've been climbing steadily higher for a week now. The air is too thin, your clothes are too light, and you've barely got another 3 days worth of food with you. But you've never felt better. You've only a handful of fainting spells since you began your journey. You've had as many in a single day before, but the dreams have been the best part. Despite the frozen rocky ground and the screeching winds, sleep has found you each night and brought you visions of majestic peaks wrapped in snow. The cold is but a sweet ache in your bones. And as you hike into the wind, you feel that ache spreading along with a certainty that you're getting closer to him, or her, your soul twin. A stranger whose soul mirrors your own, one of the few people in Aora who could understand the constant torment of a split soul, and the only person who could help you relieve it. Something approaches through the shroud of snow ahead. You feel a throbbing presence like a heartbeat through linen, and you know. The vision ends abruptly. You find yourself staring at Igadir's scattered belongings while his elation ebbs from your veins. As his essence fades from you, you feel his eagerness dissolve into disappointment until all that remains is the emptiness of a meaningless death. An empty pack lies in the snow. It's been rent by knives or claws. Also, muddy tracks churn the ground. They're three-toed and webbed, and you count over a dozen separate pairs, all leading north. They look recent. The Lagofoth got a hold of him. He did get to find his soul twin.
You better run!
Tubes of stiff, frozen mud rise from the ground, and warm air buffets your face as you peer into them. You see shiny, jagged shards inside. Is this where the pearls are? You peer into this pool. The water is perfectly clear, but you don't see anything of note. Okay. Alrighty. Hopefully that dwindled the Lagofoth population. Brush the cloak of steam away from the pool. You think you see... no, it's just a bubble rolling up from the depths. This pool is empty. Alright. What's that? It's a journal. Igadir's journal. Most of the few remaining pages are ruined with mud, but you can make out entry near the end of the journal. Folks died. Woke up this morning and saw my toes had turned blue. Spent the last of my fuel warming them up, but only took me an hour to start the campfire this time. How far I've come. I passed a village yesterday and thought about stopping. A warm bed and a proper meal. Would have been a treat after almost a week in these mountains. But I don't want to lose track of my soul twin. Not when I'm so close. I dreamed of the cave behind the waterfall last night. I think that's where I'll find him. I'm not sure what else it could mean, but I'd better. The next page is missing, and the rest are unreadable. He got jumped while reading. Looking into the third pool, you see something round and iridescent resting on the bottom. There it is. You reach in, your flesh tingling in the warm water, and pull the sphere out. It's heavier than it looked, and it's smooth. Pearlescent surface shines as you turn it. You stick it into your pack. Alrighty. You feel someone nudge the small of your back. You turn around, no one's standing there. But you feel it again. Something is moving in your pack. You open your pack and hear a soft burbling sound as you rummage through your belongings. Something slick brushes your hand. It's a baby Lagofath. It watches you with benign curiosity, eggshell fragments still stuck to its body. You're the first person it saw. It's gonna think you're its papa now. That little four-armed fish baby is your son. Oh, I couldn't be happy for you. You got a baby Lagofath. Uh-huh. Well, I guess I'll keep it. It's cool enough. Durgan cogwheels. So that's the battery's currency. It's really cool in this game how they have many different coins, all valued at different coin pieces for, money. This brazier looks large enough to have held a signal fire once. Like, that's a big world building thing a lot of fantasy worlds kind of forget about. Is like different cultures have different ways of currency. Water trickles down glistening pillars and spears of ice. A few rocks peek out from between them. Over the bridge, and more blights. There's a lot of ice just around here trying to kill everyone. Got a little camp over here.
I can do that.
Whose camp is this?
That's settled.
Oh, trap. Just bounced to hit all of us. Tane's chaotic orb. A diamond. I hear a banshee. She up here wailing at the top of the waterfall. A wraith. Yeah, there they are.
That's it.
You trace fading outline and shapes in these panels. It looks like they were once a sequence of reliefs, but the images have worn away. These panels have been worn smooth. In one, you can just detect the shape of a sword, and in another, the stocky body of a dwarf. This cursed sword in the stone. Behind a frigid curtain of water is an alcove, its walls flecked with ice. In the middle, you see a rough stone pedestal, also glazed with ice from the falls. A cruciform hilt and a tapered blade protrude from the pedestal. Judging from the size of the hilt and the apparent length of the blade, you infer that it is an estoc. Nice. Armor-piercing, thrusting blade. Maybe traps. The alcove and the stone pedestal are little more than dilapidated ruins. Ice prize cracks in the stone and coats the slick floor. The estoc, what little of it you can see, appears to be in better condition. It seems odd that anyone would leave it here. However, as you get close to it, you hear what sounds like the screams and shouts of tormented souls. Yeah, it might be a cursed blade, but it might also be kind of strong. Who will pull the weapon? Since I'm wanting the treasure, I will do it. You cross under the falls, gasping as the water douses you. Your breaths echo in the small chamber. As you approach the pedestal, you see the reflection of falling water running along the blade. You grip the hilt. The hate, fear, and violence of a dozen mad, gibbering voices fill your mind. You shudder through a wave of mental pain, struggling to hold the voices back. Grunts and cries of agony ring through the tiny space. But you keep a hold on the hilt and eventually regain a measure of focus. Yet, just as your breathing steadies and the cacophony subsides, something pulls your arms forward. it suddenly feels as if you're holding a heavy and painful burden. You could probably pull the stock free, but it will be taxing without careful effort. The blade is of a fine, sturdy steel. Peering closer, you see part of a poem written along the blade. "'Tis a traitor's fate to sleep and never rest, whilst knowledge of his deed stays lodged within his breast. But earnest penance heals the sorrowful man, and worthy actions stay the executioner's hand." Well, I don't sleep to begin with. But am I a traitor? I don't think so. Earnest penance heals a sorrowful man. I can't make sense of it. I don't think it's like a prophecy about me or anything. I think it's just it goes along with the blade. Like, you're not supposed to draw this blade because of something that was like to the dwarves, which, like, I never made a promise to not pull this sword from that stone or alcove. I'm not really the traitor, so like only a worthy person can use this sword or something, which I am a worthy person. Let's draw it. You rip the stock from the stone in an impressive display of brute strength. The blade rings with the force of your effort. That's why they call me the tall stag. Yet when you try to release the stock, it remains stuck in your hand. You feel something within the weapon grasping at your soul and binding to it. When you look at the blade, you see new writing glowing from the metal. The Gray Sleeper. Okay. We have to decipher the first verse of the poem. This stock has a smooth, sturdy blade that tapers to a needle-sharp point. The groans of a dozen tortured souls ring from the metal, binding the weapon to the hand of its wielder for so long as the curse persists. A few verses are etched along the blade. We've already read that one. A new verse appeared when the blade was drawn from its pedestal. It reads, "Seek the whirling agent made of copper, adra, and stone. Awaken first your essence so that you may atone." Whirling agent. Are we talking about like that Inguithan machinery? Oh, okay. So it's forced me to equip it. Fine. It's still a pretty solid sword. Alright. Okay, let's head into the cave. That's a lot of skeletons. There's a greater ice blight over there. Oh! It's a dragon. The dragon turns its head to look at you. Its red eyes are clouded like dirty ice, and its sides heave with labored breaths. Frosty plumes jet between its teeth.
Leave now.
The only sound the dragon makes is a hoarse growl, but you hear it as clearly as if it were a spoken language. The beast bares its teeth. "You look ill."
I can still peel the flesh from your bones.
The dragon coughs, spattering the ice with crimson droplets. You see something femur-shaped stuck between its teeth. You're barely staying on your feet. I think you're too weak to fight me."
Careful. I killed the last wanderer I found in these parts.
"Did you eat Igadir, the young man by the road?" I don't think he did. I think that was a Lagufoth.
Was that the rodent's name? I only know that he tasted mealy and lean.
What did that have to do with you? He's looking for a soul twin.
Centuries I've lived. I won't share my soul with some mewling youth.
Why did you kill him? Well, I guess to maybe make your soul stronger?
While he lived, his suffering became mine. And as he drew closer, his weakness infected my essence.
And now he's inside you. That seems kind of dumb. If you knew of this, why would you eat him? Like, why wouldn't you just kill him and then take him as far away from you as possible and then come back?
I can never be strong while a soul twin of mine lives.
Uh-huh. I have always felt that if I had a soul twin, we would be good friends. I had not considered the advantages of being able to pummel them. I take it you've been through this before.
Since I was a worm, sudden fits of agony and terror would paralyze me. I was a prisoner to experiences that weren't mine.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I noticed something similar in my fellow hatchlings. I felt their cries and shrieks become mine as they nipped and flew at one another.
Go on then.
I killed as many of the other hatchlings as I could. I felt their pain, but I also felt parts of their souls become mine.
Man, you're a bit of a monster, you know that?
I slaughtered and devoured, and the scent of blood drove my siblings into a frenzy. Our nest became a maelstrom of chaos as we fought, dying and feeding together.
Uh-huh.
At last, only a handful of us were left. We were sickened by all we'd consumed and suffered.
Yeah, that tends to happen. What happened to the
I
actual
eventually
survived?
hunted down some of my missing siblings. Others returned to me in other skins and other lives, as that boy did.
Killing your soul twins is wrong. Reasons don't change that. You do what you must to survive. That's a little horse poop. Something churns noisily in the dragon's stomach.
As interesting as this conversation has been, I've had enough of it.
I think we should put this monster down. He's only going to cause more problems. Like, he was even a problem to other dragons. Try me. Alrighty. Okay. Dragon fight. Okay. Mayna, go right for it. Zawa, run that way. Aloth, run this way. Tunk, go for it. Adair, go for it. Rollen, run this
I'm
way.
here.
There we go. Alrighty. Okay. You know what? Maybe some fireballs would be great right over here.
How may I help?
Okay. Okay, one ice bite's almost down.
Yeah?
There, got it going there. Okay. Okay. This dragon had no idea what hit it.
Lava will be on seek.
There we go. He's going down. We're pros at this right now. And how's about down? We need some defiance from you. Oh, you've already used it. Okay. Endurance. We need some... What is it? Where is it? This. Restore critical endurance. Right there.
Lava.
More. Or heal it. And the dragon falls. It's got a very skull-like head, like very bony. Well, that... He had some dragon meat. I didn't get, like, scales or anything off of him. Well, that's kind of weak.
Not a problem.
Get a little nest here. And, ooh, that's a nice war bow. Good shield. Rihanna's vambraces. Lucky. Mm-hmm. Be nice for like a DPS rogue.
You're mine.
And just these specters over here all by themselves. I think we never really had to deal with them. Endurance took enough damage, eh? Now you gotta take damage from melee enemies. Grants a flame shit. Flame shit. A flame shield. Okay. A skeleton over here. Bones stripped of flesh and gouged with tooth marks are piled beneath the snow. Well, we're done here, I'm guessing.
And then you hit your own father?
Not I. That was Isilmir.
Yeah, but you're the same person.
Fine cock's feathers to that!
I see your point.
Yeah, Isilmir doesn't like Aloth. Aloth doesn't like Isilmir. I like them both, kind of. They're both enjoyable people, I'm sure. So let's return to Stalwart. Well, we've many things. What's one of them? We got the Pearl, Tealdor, okay. We can do that one. Was that it? I think that was it to do. Okay, yep. Tealdor, we got your thermal pearl for your, I believe, scurvy? Or maybe someone else has scurvy. There he is. Been keeping an eye on town here. You found anything out near Longwatch for me? This came out of the thermal pearl. The little creature sticks its head out of your pack and looks at Tealdor with bulging blue eyes. His jaw flaps silently for a few seconds. Never seen one so small. The little fellow looks downright tame. He scratches his head. How about I buy it from you? The performers that pass through here would take an interest in something like this. Heck no. Don't do it. That's right, I'm keeping him. I'm not selling him off. He's cute. Cuter than you, Tealdor. Whatever you say, just watch your fingers when he gets big. I'm still looking for someone to take care of those dangerous folk roaming the area if you're up to it. Ah, bounties. We could maybe do that along. We get our share of crazies out here. Most of them aren't even from the village. He laughs at his own joke. Latest groups I'd heard of were the Gleaming Society and the Sisterhood of the Slaked Skull. But Ren Guild set aside some bounty money to see that these troublemakers were taken care of. You bring me the heads of their leaders and I'll give you the payment. Don't tell me about them. Crazy pack of radicals that want to topple governments and kill the wealthy. Makes the War of Defiance look like a food fight. Duke Ivar and the region of Raid Saras both declared them illegal, which is probably the only thing those two would agree on. Or would have before all that murder and mayhem in Defiance Bay. Yeah. Anyway, check Longwatch Falls to the east. That's where they were last seen. They just came there. They weren't there. How about the Sisterhood? That'll be Mestla. All of the members of the Sisterhood worship Bareth by sending as many folk back to the wheel as they can. Man, what is with Bareth worshippers just killing people left and right? Like, I understand he's a god of death, but he, or she, it is also the god of life. Like, it's a wheel, a cycle. Killing people is only doing half of the job. We've been poking around Durgan's battery, and Weil only knows why. Or, they've been poking around Durgan's battery, and Weil only knows why. But you can understand why no one around here was pleased to hear about it. Passed through town recently. Didn't stay long, but they stopped at the Temple of Andra. You might see if Lofta knows anything. And Lofta's gone. If you come across them, be careful. They're unpredictable. Okay, well, I'm out of here. I need to find a whirling agent of Adra, copper, and what else? Something else. Whistling of the reeds, red weed wand. Okay. Let's go and find a whirling agent of copper, Adra, and stone. I have a good feeling of where it is. At like Chalantli, or I think there's one on Heritage Hill. And there's one in Cleobonry Log. 2 days, 12 hours. It's a good journey. Alrighty. There's something interactable with it. The Istok seems to hum as it nears the Anguithan machine. Something arcs between the steel blade and the Adra core of the ancient device. The voices in the Istok grow quieter, and the weapon feels more powerful. New writing appears along the blade. Now it does a bit more damage and slow spirits. You can cast this on foes to really slow them down for a bit. What's next? Find the sun-kissed hillocks where the dead folk sleep. Rest beside their wasting flesh. Inspect what dreams you reap. Okay. That could be Heritage Hill, or that could be Esternwood. There's a graveyard there.
Something over there.
Mm-hmm. Don't really see anything here. Okay. Oh, Heritage Hill, next stop. Would we have to go into one of the mausoleums? I don't see anything here. Well, that didn't work. So I could be rest beside their wasting flesh. I may have to camp here is what. Just go right here and camp right by this wagon there. The loamy soil squishes underfoot and something invisible seems to rise from it. You detect essence, faint and barely perceptible. Drifting up from the graveyard, the gray sleeper seems to feed on it, and the strange voices grow quieter still. Another verse gleams in the steel. Mm-hmm. 5% chance to cast Invoke Vessels. So on a hit, I have a chance of summoning 1 to 3 of Dark Ghoul, Ghoul, Revenant, Human Skeleton, or Wykes. What's that next phrase? The final part of the poem shines along the blade. Fingers of the world, Audra, strong and whole, kneel before the pillars, bring order to your soul. That's talking about my chapel. The Audra Colossus's hand. He's reaching up through the ground. I'm a smart boy. And we need to go to the stronghold anyways to defend it. Okay. Here we are. Yeah. A deep and mighty power emanates from the Audra pillar. It resonates in the Grey Sleeper. Kneel. As you kneel, the voices in the Grey Sleeper reach a low, peaceful harmony. A final surge of energy fills the blade and the voices fall silent. You feel this curse snap like rotten cord. Boom. Wow, it just got a whole lot stronger. Superb now. Chance to cast Twin Stones. Wow. Two final lines appear along the blade of the Astok. A penance now complete. A burden now a gift. Keep this weapon at your side to remind you of your shrift. It's a pretty nice blade, definitely a keeper. Gata leaves the stronghold. Oh yeah, her. Well, like, I had no prisoners to give her. I'm pretty efficient at dealing with problems. And with that, you've had a very eventful episode of Pillars of Eternity. Big difference from the last one. We found a cursed stock and broke the curse on it, as well as killed a dragon. Got a little baby Lagufoth, new pet now. Sometimes it is better to light a flamethrower than curse the darkness. This is Master Barkle from Brighthelm Recording, signing off.